Times New Roman by J. Snodgrass, inspired by the art of Norman Lindsay. For 5 days and nights, Gaius walked from his home 40 miles from the farm to the city of Rome. His vineyard was struggling to meet with demands, but he'd heard of a senator who'd understand. For Publius came from the countryside too. With his wisdom and sympathy, surely he'd know what to do. The magnificent Senate house came into view, and a senator said on the steps, "We are all screwed, our swindles and scandals unjustly laid bare, because Publius hungers for more than his share. Each time he seems finished, it's just to begin, yet again, slick and fresh as a serpent that shed its old skin. Next peasant shows up, says that name and complains, gets arrested, sent somewhere unpleasant in chains. They'll brand him with iron and sever his wiener and send him to fend off some lions inside the arena." A senator said, "So, a limb is infected? We cut him." They nodded. The man said, "He's too well connected." He nimbly slipped into an alley to hide. "So there you are," cackled a crone at his side. "I'm who, where?" Gaius asked her. She laughed, "Slimy crook. Look here, everyone, bag of scum." Thankfully, nobody looked. He ducked. "What? I'm no one," she hissed. "Poisoned toad, you hopped into Rome on the bright country road with your chirping of freedom, then greed bogged you down. You're the worst bottom feeder, a leech in this swamp of a town." "You're mistaken," he stuttered. "I've only been here a bit." "Rubbery grubworm," she sputtered, then squinted. "What year is it?" And then, on his shoulder, the touch of her stare, he turned. Some Madonna or goddess was there. The filth of the gutters, the fish merchants' calls, the horrible drawings enscrawled on the walls, unspeakable scents and unsavory sights were bathed in her essence of warm, gentle-scented white light. She was solid as oak and as soft as the field, with dark eyes that revealed all you'd hoped to conceal. Her skin was the bronze of the dawn's urgent rays, and the fragrance of peaches just sweetening into decay. Her lamb-leather voice, "I've been waiting for you." He stepped, "What?" and was struck by a sudden parade that came through. He was toppled and trampled and stomped in the street by a steady stampede, heavy march, sweaty feet. The senator Publius passed overhead, then some friends, Romans, countrymen, followers, tread where he led. And Gaius was struggling to roll or to rise. Then he huddled and covered his nose and his eyes from the unsightly flashes of up-toga views and the gut-crushing odors of open-toed shoes. He was pummeled and bruised with no hope of escape, and he mused, "This must be how the winemaking feels to the grape." The slave who was carrying sacks at the end helped him up and smiled. "Well, why so downtrodden, friend?" "My family's run vineyards for 9 generations while pressed by inflation and squeezed by taxation, and now we've been ordered to send wine for free for the state-sponsored sports in the great Colosseum, and rallies and revels. They're bleeding us dry. My father crawled into a barrel and died. Now I've double the work. Who could face such a curse?" And the boy pondered, nodded. "Yeah, slavery's worse." "But if I could see Publius, I know him well. He's the plutocrat running my personal hell. He's hosting a grand toga party tonight, and our new tightrope artist just died. Are you frightened of heights?" The skills that helped Gaius with hanging high vines kept him steady and calm on the thin tightrope line, as long as he didn't look down on the floor, where a reddish-brown marking was hard to ignore, an outline in gore of the guy from before, and the horrible chef who was carving the head of a boar. His acrobat partner said, "Look in my eyes, or you'll fall from the line like the last 19 guys." But Gaius was gawking. Between her white thighs was a sight so amazing and bright that he gaped, mesmerized. The senator grandly arrived with his bride, the matron that Gaius had witnessed outside. He was grinning and beaming and reeking with pride. She was simmering, steaming, with feeling too heated to hide. He said, "Pardon our lateness. Now all is prepared. 5-course meal, sports performers, and finally, Fulvia's hair." She sneered, "Yes, wine, food, games, all of this preparation, so no one will doze from the dullness of his conversation." And then Gaius felt it, the heat of her stare, way down deep, every nerve, dream, and secret laid bare, and her lips formed the phrase, "Yes, I'll wait." He was sure. Then he blinked, and the butcher was scraping him off of the floor. In a lifetime of vining, he'd taken some falls, so he said he was fine, realigned his bent spine against the wall. He searched for her eyes across the room for some answers, eclipsed by the orbiting moon of a dancer. And as she thumped, swung her plumpness around, a small platter was bumped from its stand, tumbled down to the ground. "Dummy!" Publius shouted. "So clumsy, it's spilled. You'll be billed for the 600 rodents we killed for their giblets so this silver bowl could be filled, and the kids who died bringing in snow from the hills so the dish could be properly chilled." But Fulvia stormed to the door. "Hearts of vermin are bigger than yours. Luna, dance on. Ignore this vile worm." With elegant stealth, she gripped Gaius's wrist. He was led to a bedroom. She pressed him and kissed him, then whispered it seemed that we'd never be able to leave that dull feast of fake friends. So I kicked down the table. "You said you'd been waiting," he murmured, while smothered she hushed him. "You feel it. We're made for each other. You've come from the country with truth in your soul." He said, "Yes, but I've come to see Publius. He shares my goals." He came from the wine-growing country, it's true, full of vigor and juice, love of justice, like you, and he entered the Senate with noble ambitions, but bent at his center to hold his position. Now lies mark the tombs of the truths he once said, and he's drowned his poor conscience in wine laced with lead, till he's empty. There's nothing within but foul wind. All that's left of the man I once loved is a leathery skin. Gaius gasped. "Run away with me. Leave this behind. You don't need his dim riches." She laughed. "It's all mine. He can snatch up quick cash with his childish hypocrisy, but I'm an heiress of old aristocracy." "Nevertheless," Gaius said, "come with me. Let's teach the old windbag a lesson," she smiled. "Then we'll see." It was dawn, and the songbirds awakened his ear, and Gaius was shaken. "Friend, you can't be here. Come along to the slave quarters here on the side. Have some vinegar, fish heads, and somewhere to hide."